Hey guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life and welcome back to another ranking video. Now we are currently up to the season 8 mark, and this is the season where it's the beginning of the end. Now once again we are introduced to a load of new faces, as well as the return of Joan Ferguson, who ends up going on a journey that none of us expected. So get yourselves comfy and let's jump straight in.
Okay then guys, starting this list off with my top 3 characters. This one may shock you because this one has completely changed in season 8. So coming in at number 3, and it is Joan Ferguson, or aka Kath Maxwell, because she takes on the personality of Kath Maxwell in this series. Now the reason why Joan is on my 3rd spot is because I just think Pamela Rabe really acted her socks off in this season. I did find the whole storyline with the Kath Maxwell amnesia interesting. There were times when I was first watching it, week by week, where I was getting a little bit annoyed. I wanted to know what was happening. Was she really faking or not? I know we were all really eager for Joan to just go full revenge, but I suppose it was a good way of, bringing Joan back in a different way. And I mean, Joan did, turn back to her usual self in the following season. But yeah, I did like Joan in season 8 part 1. Coming in at number 2, and is Lou Kelly. I think Lou is a fantastic addition to the show. I've said many times before, it's a shame she wasn't brought into Wentworth a lot sooner. There's so much more to learn about Lou Kelly. If they ever do a spin-off, I definitely think Lou Kelly should be in it. And at number 1, it is Vera Bennett. Now, the reason why Vera is at my number 1 spot in season 8 part 1 is because I just think she was fantastic. She was she was no longer the governor. She was now this this manager, industries manager, that's the one. And I just loved her with baby Grace. I loved watching her, involved in motherhood. It was so beautiful to watch. I also loved the scene where Vera went, full crazy during the Lou Kelly riot, and she got her baton out and she battered Mullet, and I just loved it. And there's so many different depths to Vera in this season. By the end of the series, she kind of turns into a mini Joan Ferguson when, Joan gets spit bagged and Vera's doing the little flinch of the face. So we just had so much of every little aspect of Vera, which is why she's number 1 for my top 3 characters. My top 3 episodes. Okay, so coming in at number 3, it is episode 9, Monster. Now this is the introduction to Sheila. It's also the episode where Joan has her LSD freak out. I loved this episode. I think, so much happened. There were some big moments and we learned a lot more about that the place where Reb and Lou were at. We learned a lot of secrets that were quite shocking, and yeah, I do love this episode. I think it was a great pre-final episode. At number 2, and it is episode 8, Goldfish Part 2. This is, of course, where we delve a little bit more into Joan's brain, and it's also the episode where Lou Kelly orchestrates a little riot, which I just loved. I love riots in prison shows, so yeah, this was always going to make the list, 100%. Coming in at number 1, and it is episode 4, Revenant. And now this is the episode where Joan is in a coma in the hospital, and she's having her little, Ferguson dreams, and at one moment she's pretty much having a fight with herself where she's being slapped by the governor version of Joan Ferguson, and we see Joan burying herself alive, the old Joan Ferguson. She takes on the persona of Kath Maxwell. It's the episodes where Vera, Will and Jake learn that Joan is still alive. It was so good. This was a brilliant episode. I remember thinking at the time that this was the best episode of the series so far since the Siege episodes. Okay, my top 3 season 8 moments. Coming in at number 3, and it is Anne gets beaten up by Judy Bryant. Now, I don't like Anne, I don't like Judy. So yeah, I kind of loved it when Anne got beaten up by Judy. I mean, if it had to be done by Judy, then fair enough. I mean, just let them kill each other. But yeah, I love this moment. Anne got her just desserts, in my opinion. And number 2, and it is Lou's riot. So I did just touch on this a second ago, but this is where Lou orchestrates a riot in the laundry and in the hallways of Wentworth, and it's just brilliant. The women just start trashing everything, and you know, in the original prisoner cell blockade, we got a big Lou Kelly riot. It is a bit of a shame that we never got to see Wentworth's version of the big Lou Kelly riot, but I'm happy that we got this little mini one. And number 1, and it is My Name's Kath Maxwell. Now, this is the moment at the end of episode 4, which I did just touch on. So, when Vera, Will, and Jake go and see Joan after she's woken up, it's just this really long, dramatic moment. The music is building and building and building, and then, you know, Joan looks at Vera, Will, and Jake, and we're all like, oh my god, what is about to happen? And then Joan says, please don't call me Joan. My name's Kath Maxwell. Such a brilliant moment. Okay, top 3 moments that either made me laugh or made me cry. So, at number 3, it's Boomer's bum. So this is the moment where Boomer like photocopies her ass, and then it gets stuck onto Anne Reynolds' little, you know, slideshow when she's doing that big meeting with important people. And then what's even funnier is when Anne is like losing her shit with Vera and Will, and like Vera turns around and says, I will get to the bottom of it, and they start giggling. Oh my god, it's brilliant. It makes me laugh every single time. And number 2, and it is You're Lucky You've Got Choices, Mr. Jackson. So this is when Will has decided to quit. Obviously we know he doesn't quit, but he brings ALLIE in, and you know, Will's trying to like get Joan transferred. It's not happening, and ALLIE just has a bit of a breakdown. You see at this stage of season 8, ALLIE's just had enough. She can't cope anymore, and she full on breaks down in tears, and she tells, you know, Will that you're lucky you've got choices, Mr. Jackson, because she hasn't. She is stuck with this shit, and it always gets me a little bit emotional. Coming in at number 1, and it's She Must Have Been So Scared. So this is in the very first episode. Lou Kelly, she beats up Boomer and puts a bag over her head, and just after that, Boomer breaks down to like, you know, her H1 crew, ALLIE and everyone in Ruby, and she starts talking about Liz and saying that she now knows how Liz must have felt. She must have been so scared, and oh god, it's so awful. Like the tears that come from Boomer are so genuine, and yeah, always gets me. Always gets me. Oh, poor Boomer. Okay, so we're on to Fight, Death, and New Character. So my favourite new character of Season 8 Part 1 is Lou Kelly. She is a brilliant addition to the show. You know, you can either love her or you hate her, but she's just brilliant. I feel like it's what the show has needed. I kind of feel she was needed after season 5 when Joan Ferguson was buried alive. We needed someone like Lou Kelly, and it's a shame she wasn't introduced a lot sooner. I mean, we did get Mari Winter, and I feel that the writers were trying to set her up as the new baddie, but let's face it, she wasn't really that much of a baddie, was she? You know? So yeah, I just absolutely love Lou Kelly. I just wish we got to see more of her. Now, fight scene, this is more of a beating, but it's when ALLIE bashes Mari in the yards. Like, ALLIE literally just jumps on Mari and just starts beating the crap out of her because Ruby gets attacked and she feels that Mari was involved, so ALLIE just loses it. So yeah, ALLIE bashes Mari. And death scene, now this was a difficult one. Like, I was racking my brains, I was flicking through episodes. I don't honestly think we had an actual death scene, at least not of a main character. The only death scene that I came across was Michael Schwartz. Now, this is the guy who Judy had assassinated after that Bitcoin transaction. So I'm going to have to put Michael Schwartz down. It's a bit of a lame one, but unfortunately there wasn't any other death scenes. Of course, they were clearly waiting for Season 8 Part 2 for that one. So my next ranking video, I'm seriously going to be spoilt for choice for the death scenes. Okay, marry, fuck, and kill. So, who am I going to marry in Season 8? I'm going to marry ALLIE NOVAK. I think ALLIE is just amazing. I know there's, like, you know, a lot of controversial around her being top dog, but I feel like she did the best that she could, and I always feel that ALLIE, she needed someone to look after her, even though she didn't want to show it. She didn't want to show any weakness, so I'm going to marry ALLIE just for that reason. Plus, she's looking gorgeous with that blonde hair. Who am I going to fuck? Well, I married him last season, so this season I'm gonna fuck his brains out. I'm not being funny, guys. Dr. Miller, I don't know what it was between season 7 and season 8. I don't know whether if he took some super fit pills or what, but Dr. Miller was looking good. Really, really good in season 8 part 1 and season 8 part 2. So I'm gonna fuck his brains out. And who am I gonna kill? I'm gonna kill Judy Bryant. Absolutely despise this character. I didn't like her even before we found out that she was gonna end up stabbing ALLIE. But when she did end up stabbing ALLIE, that was it. My hatred for this character, just, there are no levels to this. I absolutely despise her. So I am gonna kill Judy Bryant.
And that was my season 8 ranking video. So guys, what did you think of my video today? Do you agree with it or not? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments boxes below. So, next Friday is the season 8 part 2 ranking special, which is indeed the final season for me to rank. So, make sure you've hit that subscribe button as you will not want to miss it. Okie dokie guys, well thank you all for watching. Make sure you stay safe out there and I'll see you again very soon.